Welcome to the Tilted Halo, the place for women of faith and leadership who know that we're not perfect, yet boldly lead anyway. Whether you serve in ministry, business, or life, this show is here to encourage you, remind you that you're not alone, and help you lead with confidence, gratitude, and God's grace. Now, let's get started. It is my honor and privilege to welcome to the Tilted Halo today, Danielle Stevens. Danielle is a digital accessibility tester consultant who wants to help women entrepreneurs make their digital products and services accessible to the visually impaired community. She also wants to share her story and spread her message of positivity, being able to go after your dreams. Danielle is interested in artificial intelligence and making businesses more productive using AI. Danielle, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I typically work with women of faith in all kinds of business or in any kinds of ministry. Please help them hear your story and how that can be important to them.
Yeah. So I've always I'm a Christian. So growing up, I've been through a lot to get to where I am here today. I was born three months of age. I was born 3 months early. I was a premature.
Mm, wow.
I was 1 pound 11 ounces, and had I had I was really sick, when I was born. I've always been the fighter and the person who never gave up, right? And so, for me, what has really got me through a lot of things that I've gone through in life is my faith, right? My belief in God. So
Mhm.
that is something that I really feel has helped me to succeed both personally and from a business perspective as well.
That's fantastic. And as someone who is visually impaired, which you say, how can other people, especially like in some forms of ministry and things like that, what are some things that I'm a pastor and I've led congregations and things. What are some things that would be very helpful for me to understand to be more helpful to someone who is visually impaired?
Yeah, so I love that. So, one of the things that is important, especially from a digital perspective, right, is to make sure that your products and services, your ebooks, your right, to make sure that they're they're in alternative formats, right? I think from the speaking from the perspective of, spiritual and right, there are a lot of people within the disability community who want to access Christian-based materials, right? They want to be able to, um, access Christian books and all these things, right? There are organizations out there that do produce, braille, large print, and, cassette and
Mhm.
digital, Christian materials, but I think from a entrepreneurial perspective, I feel that it's important for Christian entrepreneurs to be able to, uh, understand the importance of making their materials, accessible.
And, as I think about that, I've got hearing loss. So I know that there are many ways these days where text gets put on screen captioning when we're doing things online and things like that. That's not gonna help you.
Right, and so it might help me a little bit because I can see some,
Ah.
right?
Mm,
But there are people out there who are totally blind, and no, that won't help them. But what
mm,
will help them and myself is if, say, for instance, when you put things online, right? If as far as, when you're posting on Facebook and social media, if you have a picture, make sure that there's a description there, right? Or if you
mhm.
post to lots of videos. Make sure there's a transcript there so that somebody like myself can follow along, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if there's no audio, right? And if it's just like, music or move, but there's no audio. So we don't know what's happening unless there's audio description or alt
Right.
text of as a part of the video.
Yeah. And because that's a little bit different than what I've been used to thinking. I've been used to thinking more of how to help people who can't hear things. And so to switch that to make sure that when there's a picture in some place, to have it described in
Yes.
audio, an audio description, and the ebooks to have an audio format with them.
Yeah, not only in audio format, but also to make sure that the ebook is accessible. Because here's the thing, right? Some ebooks are not accessible for people who use screen readers. And although screen readers are great at uh, reading text and whatnot, if it has a lot of pictures with no captions, right? Then
Hmm.
sometimes the screen reader will just say image, image, and you're like, okay, what is that, right?
Hmm.
Um, there are lots of ways to help that, but if the person doesn't know that, right, then it's kind of like, okay, right? Also, one of the things that is important is that when you are I know that in the spiritual world and we have lots of nowadays there's AI, right? And so
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
AI being a part of everyone's lives, it has made making things more accessible a lot easier, right?
Mm.
So using tools uh like Descript uh to make to take videos and put them into, shorts, right? And to be able to, add that transcript, right? A lot of
Okay.
uh, that now that AI is available, it's a lot easier for, I feel, for entrepreneurs and business owners and people within the digital world to be able to make their stuff more accessible because AI is there to help.
Yeah, and, I love the talk about AI because that's a technology that really can help with the online things,
It can.
but I also think of some old technology, because, if people go into a worship space,
Right.
whatever faith that is,
Yeah.
one thing to think about is the lighting.
Yes, I don't have that issue, but one of the things that my church did for me was that they bought me they ordered me the Braille songbooks, right? So that I could, like I know most of the songs now, but they ordered me a Braille songbooks, right? So that I could follow along, right? And
Mm,
so I think in the church space specifically, making sure that when you are looking at different curriculums, right? Or if you're looking at different books, like find out from those book publishers, hey, is there a way that we can get these books in a Word document, right? Or
mhm,
is there a way that we can get these books on CD, right? So that you might not have someone who's visually impaired in your space right now, but that doesn't mean that they might not come visit or right? Or they might
mhm.
attend your Christian webinar or seminar or retreat or whatever.
Yeah, what you're talking about is, you know, printing things in a larger print.
Yes,
Or braille type of thing, but at least a larger print. Because I find some things that are such small print, it's even for people who would not be considered visually impaired, it gets hard to read.
right,
And there are many people these days who have something called macular degeneration,
right.
and that's a kind of visual impairment, and
It
to
is.
take that into consideration in what we put up even on a screen or to in written form.
Right.
The lighting is appropriate, the size of the print
Yep.
when it's in print, having Braille available
Possible. I mean,
if
it might
possible.
not always be, but,
Yeah,
even audio, right? Making
right.
sure that, when you have online, uh, things that um like, recordings available, right?
Mhm,
Making sure that, when you have, different things, making sure that you think about when you send out, like, different forms and right? Making sure that,
mhm.
the registration process is accessible as well, so that's something that
Yeah, yeah, and you're saying that AI can AI basically take a written piece and put that into an audio?
it can. There are AI out there that can do that, right?
Wow.
There are AIs that can take, like, your voice notes, like, say, first, if I was able to upload if I uploaded my voice notes to, like, Otter.ai or whatever, right? They could
Mhm.
take it and it would could take it and and cut it up into, like, shorts for YouTube or it could take it and it could even do they even have AIs that will take written text and transcribe and convert them into audio. So the AI is like yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, that's really very helpful to know for faith communities because a lot of them are still dealing with making their services of whatever kind accessible to people with hearing impairment,
Right.
and then to consider we need both.
Yes.
Can't be one or the other. It
No,
needs
you
to
need
be
both.
both. And there are many that have now learned to have their facilities accessible to those who have mobility issues.
Right.
Uh, so, there are many different levels of disability,
Yes.
or I should say different ability.
Yeah, different yeah, exactly.
Different
Uh-huh.
ability, because those are things to consider for anybody who's in a leadership position in a faith community.
Right. It's something that I don't
Yeah,
think a lot of people in the faith community well, I mean, that I I'm Church of Christ, so I haven't had this problem, but I've heard of other people, not being able to access their church material because it wasn't accessible, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just something that people in the faith community need to really think about going
Uh-huh.
forward.
Yeah. So um that's enlightening for all of us to think about and to be much more aware of and
Yes.
sensitive to. Are there any other things that you would want leaders in faith communities to know to help with doing these things?
Yeah, so one of the things that I would say one piece of advice that I would give them is to reach out, right? Reach out to there's different blindness organizations out there, right? That
Mhm,
will help you to kind of understand the nuances, right? To be able to make your stuff accessible. There's blindness organizations that have like National Federation of the Blind. They have a whole thing. They have different divisions that focus on leadership and faith. They don't right all these different and so like don't be afraid to like reach out, right?
mm,
Reach out to different blindness organizations. Reach out um to uh other I guess disability related organizations, right? And
mhm.
say, "Hey, let's partner up and see how we can help," right? Because there's that's the biggest thing that I would say, right? Is to reach
Yeah,
out and collaborate with other organizations and individuals.
that's very good advice to give because, um, forget that there are things like the Association of the Blind. I know Lions Club as a service organization collects eyeglasses and things. So
Mhm.
they do some things with eyesight,
Right.
but I'm sure there are many other organizations to find the ones locally, but also to talk to the people within your faith community who
Yep.
have visual issues
Right.
and to hear what they need and what's going to be most helpful to them.
Right. Because everybody's not the same. What when it's not a one size fits all type of thing, right?
It's not that I've been totally, blind to them, so to speak, but it's hasn't been top of my mind,
Right.
even
And
as a faith leader, because I haven't had somebody in a congregation who is blind or seriously visually impaired.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's 15 million people within the United States that are blind or
Wow.
visually impaired, right? 15
Wow.
million people, and it's growing every day, right? But
Mhm.
how there only 3% of the websites that are online are accessible. Right now,
Uh,
6% of them are either partially accessible or not accessible at all.
wow. And
And so,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a reminder for me and for all faith communities to check their website. Oh,
That's
and
so, so important, and then
yeah.
there are free sources out there
Mhm.
that you can actually put your website into it, and it will
Ah,
let you know how accessible it is, right? But not
yeah.
only that, they'll give you reports and let you know, "Hey, this is what you need to do to make your website more accessible," not only for people that are blind or visually impaired, but also for people who have ADHD like I do. Like, I have multiple disabilities, right?
Ah,
Or people um, who maybe, they can't read the font, right? And so there's just so many, uh resources out there that are and now with AI, like, it's even easier to to find these tools that are out there that some of them I didn't even know existed, right? And I've been
mhm.
in tech for forever. I've been a techie ever since I was a kid, but
Wow.
just to know that there's help out there for you, and some of it is not it doesn't have to cost anything, right? Or some of it may not may cost some money, but guess what? You are now ADA compliant, right?
Mhm.
So, which means that
Yeah.
you won't have to worry about getting sued or, right? Somebody telling you that, "Hey, your website is not accessible. I can't participate in your a program because the booking link or the registration is not accessible." And
Yeah.
so I just really want people to understand how important it is to be accessible, but that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I really appreciate this, Danielle, and we do have to go so that you can move on
yeah,
and things like that. But this has been really helpful to me and to help people understand the gift we give when things are accessible. It's far more way of a saying that we're welcoming everyone.
right.
Blessings to you as you continue to share your story and your work. And thank you for helping me and others to understand um, the importance of being sensitive and inclusive of people with all kinds of different abilities.
Yeah,
So,
no, thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope that the people that listen to it are able to glean.
well, blessings and thank you again. Maybe we
Yeah,
can continue this at another time.
yes,
Okay.
definitely.
You've been listening to The Tilted Halo for women of faith who know we're not perfect, yet boldly lead anyway. If today's episode encouraged you, please like it, share it, and leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss what's next. And for more tools, resources, and encouragement, visit me at KathleenAPanning.com. Until next time, keep leading boldly with faith, gratitude, and God's grace.